Morning, Cherries fans, and welcome to this latest on our podcast, Cherry Picking. So it's episode number 5. We are a couple of days away from our first game of the season against Aston Villa. So we're looking forward to that with a little bit of trepidation as well. But of course, I've got my two counterparts with me. On the left corner, I have got the Dorset picker himself. I was thinking about to announce you, Chris, but there you go.
I think all worse things.
Yeah, and in the kind of down there corner, we have got Mr. Matthew Harrison. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, nice to be with you too on this fine Friday morning.
And firstly, well done to Chris Billam-Smith, who won his fight on Saturday. So I was there. Very, very enjoyable evening. Bit of a drunk evening as well, mind. But he did do the business. Before we go on with the show, let's just give a shout out to our sponsors, Dental on the Banks. To find out what they can do for you, visit dentalonthebanks.co.uk. So, as standard, before any game, we have had Scott Parker's press conference. And what did you make of that, Matt?
Yeah, he was. The first question was an interesting one. I think he's got to do what he's got to do, and it is what it is. It doesn't look like the two signings that are being rumoured at the minute are going to be signed in time to participate on Saturday. So he's setting his stall out as it is going to be a fight, and that's what I got from it. I mean, there's not a lot else the bloke could say. Obviously, he was pleased with Solanke's new contract, which is good news for the club. But in terms of obviously, Rothwell and Fredericks, they're both on the grass, but they're nowhere near match fit. So it looks like they're going to be a couple of weeks away before they get included in the squad. It definitely looks like he's aware that he's got a challenge on his hands.
Do you think that with regards to our business or lack of it, do you think that, we've kind of missed the ball a little bit? Because Forest have spent big. Fulham haven't so much. So Leicester have spent absolutely nothing. But I think we should have made and embedded in these players beforehand, before the start of the season.
Yeah, you're right. In an ideal world, you would, but obviously, a goalkeeper situation. Obviously, they've had the couple of guys on trial, haven't they? And they don't seem to have worked out. I'm sure if they are going to sign, who is rumoured, I'm pretty certain he will bed in pretty well, pretty quickly. And if we do, again, the Nat Phillips transfers raised its head again. So, I mean, I don't think it would take him long to bed in anyway, because obviously he knows most of the squad.
Yeah.
I really do hope we do sign Phillips, because Parker's pretty much admitted tonight that we are going to be playing a back five. So we are going to be seeing, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing away from home. It'd be interesting. I mean, it's probably better away from home, but I mean, it'd be interesting to see how we do at home playing that formation. But yeah, I mean, all in all, the transfer window, we've still got how many weeks? About 3 weeks.
Yeah. And the other thing as well that has come to mind is that maybe we have got a little bit more time. And the reason why I say that, apart from Aston Villa, when you look at it, we've got Manchester City, we've got Liverpool, and we've got Arsenal. Now, those 3 games, we wouldn't expect anything from the Premier League champions. Probably wouldn't expect to get anything from the team who finished second. Arsenal, they've strengthened to an extent as well. Although I'd hope that we'd put up a little bit of a fight against them. This Villa game, though, I really wanted to get off to a good start, and it feels like we're gambling a little bit with that. But when you look at it, after the transfer window closes, that's when we've got the games which are winnable, really. We've got Brentford, Everton. Without looking at the league table, it's a fairly decent run, as decent runs go in the Premier League.
Yeah, you got a good point there. I think that they might be biding their time. They might have their targets, and they might be thinking, "Can we get them cheaper, closer to the end of the window if no one else comes in?" And obviously, you take that risk then of someone else coming in for them. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, this first run of games is a tough run. I mean, some people are saying that Bournemouth are going to be lucky if they get a point out of those first 4 games. I'd like to think that hopefully, I mean, you would take 3 points now, win against Villa, but and anything else, she gets a bonus. But yeah, maybe that's the case, and they're looking at bringing someone in towards the end of the window, ready for that run of games where we will need to pick up points, because those games from then onwards are very vital.
Parker has been quite negative about our chances in the press, and there was something that was posted that made a point that he was concerned and didn't feel like he was backed to a certain extent, and some fans have taken that as, look, if you can't work with the tools that you've been given, why don't you go? It's not helping the squad. And I don't think the negativity does, but has Scott Parker got a point?
Yeah, go on, Chris, you go.
I can see both sides to that, to a certain degree, yeah, and to a certain degree, no. It's not good to sort of feel like that, but I can still see where it's coming from,
I think, Chris is spot on, but with maybe you shouldn't have gone public with it.
Yeah.
Because if I was in his shoes, to be honest with you, I'd be feeling the same. I mean, you've been promoted, you've worked hard all season, you've lost 8 players throughout the window, throughout pre-season. And, coming up from the Championship, you would expect to replace those 8, or at least half of them with some real quality. Which, yes, we have brought in Joe Rothwell. I mean, can't wait to see him play in the Premier League, because I think he's going to be a great asset. Obviously, Fredericks, he's come in. That's going to be handy for, whether he's going to earn his place or whether he's going to be his cover. I'm sure he'll be handy in that kind of role. And obviously, someone pronounce his name for me, because I always pronounce it wrong. Is it Tavernier? Obviously, he had a good season last year. Parker seems quite excited that he's coming. So, yeah, I mean, you've brought them in, but then again, we are still lacking, as we've said for the last 5 weeks, we are still lacking that centre back. And for me, I mean, Travs is going to obviously start in goal, and rightly so. But you do need someone on that bench that is Premier League quality. Obviously, Will Dennis is a youngster. For me, he needs to go out on loan and get game time because I'm sure he's going to be a very good goalkeeper. So he needs the game time. You know, he needs to go somewhere like League One, play for a season, get some game time under his belt, just like what we did with Ramsdale when we got him out on loan that time. He went to a couple of clubs, Chesterfield and Wimbledon.
AFC
I think,
Wimbledon, yeah.
And that did him the world of good because obviously then he comes straight back into the side. So I think for Will Dennis, that's vital for his development, for his career path. And that's where we need someone on the bench. And Travs will need that stiff competition. I mean, last year, I don't think he was really at any point, even though every game he was superb in anyway, but not, from a training point of view, was he kept on his toes or did he know he was getting that first team place every week? Whereas being in this league, to improve him as a player and to get results for us, I think he needs a strong person in there training with him every day, thinking, oh, if I slip up here, he's straight in. So, Neto, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah,
Neto. I mean, bags of experience. That right age to still be being a number one, really. I mean, he's only 33. So he ain't going to want to come here and sit on the bench. So, I mean, that is key. I think it's key that we get a goalkeeper over the line. I do. I know the centre back. I mean, maybe we can deal with the centre back up until maybe the end of the transfer window. But I think it is key. The quicker we get a goalkeeper in, the better. Really.
Yeah, I think we need two keepers still. To be honest, I think we need to get this one, and I still think we should get Smithies just so that we have most Premier League teams have three, don't they?
Yeah. I mean,
like three older ones.
Yeah.
As you can tell, there's been a little bit of a technical issue there. The gremlins in the system already. We might as well, promote this whilst it's on the screen, whilst it's decided it's going to pop up. Go on, Chris. Do you want to do the honours this week?
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So, anybody that hasn't already, you might as well join our Sky Sports Fantasy Football League. Get on it today, though, because it's the last opportunity you get to make changes for your first week. Because obviously, by the time the Arsenal Crystal Palace game kicks off tonight, you won't be able to make any more changes for the weekend. So get on it today. And at the moment, we have 29 people in the league, so it's growing. It's going well. So yeah, get on it. The pin number's on there. It's really simple. Just download the app, make your team. Once you've made your team, click at the bottom of the page on the home screen of the app. Click on leagues. At the top, it says join. Click on that and type the pin number in. Then you're in.
There we go. Yeah, sorry. Anything else to add on what we was discussing before that decided to pop up?
I just think it's crazy that we're even in the situation where you're talking about a potential Barcelona player coming to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not like a 16-year-old kid, an actual someone that's been in around their match day squad for like a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean that would be a real coup, really will be. And like I say, he's not going to sign for Bournemouth just to keep the bench warm. So it would definitely give Trav some competition.
But... Well, maybe he's just looking forward to a third round tie away at Morecambe in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why else would you come to England?
What we are going to do today is we are going to do a tier list. And you might have seen these being done before. We are going to do it a little bit differently. We have made our own predictions of where we think everybody's going to finish, but we're going to try and agree on something. And I'll try and make no more cock-ups as well. So... I'm sure everybody has seen one of these. So how this is going to work is a little bit different because we are going to predict the exact positions that we think they're going to be in. So, for example, That's a bit optimistic, but but if we go for the Champions League places, so what will happen is the team on the furthest left will be the team that will finish highest. So Arsenal finish second, Crystal Palace finish third, and don't know, shall we say Wolves finish fourth? But that's the sort of way we're going to work it. So what do you think, guys? Should we do this?
Yeah, give it a go. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Right.
go.
I'm just going to resume everybody to their previous positions. Also, there is no order really of who we pick first, and we can jiggle teams around until we've made the final list. So, who wants to do the honours? And which team are we picking?
Let's start with the champions, shall we?
The champions. Are you going to be that boring?
Okay, let's go with Newcastle. Let's go Newcastle, because I think they're going to be the most interesting.
Newcastle, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, shall we stick them at the moment in the top half? But we can move them around. They can go anywhere that you want them to. So, Newcastle, of course, Eddie Howe. I have made a very bold prediction. I did a very bold prediction for them in my Harry Redknapp interview, pre-season preview show, I should say. Harry said that, well, in no certain terms, that I'm barking mad at my prediction that they would finish third. So I've gone a little bit off that, and I've actually said they'll finish fourth. But if you look at what they did after Eddie, took over, if you take that from that point to the end of the season, they finished third.
Yeah.
Before that, Steve Bruce put me in such a bad position. So there is logic to my madness, but Eddie's got a full season this time around. Do you see my logic, or do you think I'm barking mad as well?
I see your logic, but I don't. I just think there's maybe a little bit too much ahead of them to finish quite so high.
Yeah, I think obviously you're right with what you're saying. When they took over, and from January or whatever it was, they would have finished third on their form at that point. But whole season, I think it's going to be a bit different. So I think
Newcastle.
I think kind of where they are at the minute suffices. I think.
I'm thinking in between the two of you.
You think Conference League?
I'm thinking maybe go up to the conference. Yeah, the Conference Europa League thing. Yeah.
There is only one position in that, because it's only seventh that gets the Conference League.
Yeah, but I can see them getting to seventh for now. For now, I can see them getting to seventh.
At the moment, they're in the position of eighth in the top half.
Well, I think we need to. I think we need to go up to seventh for now, because you think fourth, I think Europa League. Matt thinks there, so I think they move up because 2 against 1.
What do you reckon, Matt?
Go on then.
For now.
You can always move them down, because those numbers next to it is how many teams can actually finish in that position. So
move them up for now. Give them their moment of glory for the minute.
Yeah.
Next.
Right. So, Matt, I think Mr. Rawlings picked that one. So, which team are you going for?
I am going to go for Leeds United.
Oh, Leeds United. Everybody's least favourite.
No, further down.
Yeah,
no.
Down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? And I got berated on Twitter for this. Rafina's gone. Calvin Phillips is gone.
Yeah.
I don't think Jesse March is a very good manager at all, personally.
I would agree.
I don't think they've signed anybody of note. They've signed players, but
they would sign what you'd call quantity, but I don't think it's quality.
Yeah, I go with that as well. Yeah.
Do you not think that, Craig? They've signed quite a few players, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Signed quite a few players, but not of any real standout quality. I mean, I know they signed a kiddie from was it Leipzig? Is it?
Yeah, the American guy.
Yeah, to replace Calvin Phillips, and I don't think anyone's really heard of him.
No.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean they've signed a lot of players, but I don't think it's quite the quality that will be needed for the whole season.
Look at what happened last season. They were in 18th place, and it was only because Brentford's self-combusted. Is that a word? Yeah, I've just made that up. But I think, really, if that hadn't have happened, I think that, without a shadow of a doubt, I think that Leeds would have gone down. And I don't, and let's be honest, I don't like them anyway. But, at the same time, we're not talking about that, but I don't think they're very good. I think Jesse March is an average manager. Now, if that was Bielsa, I'd probably put them in the bottom half, but it's not.
Well, I think Bielsa didn't do anything last season. I think March actually kept them up last season because they did concede less goals once he took over. So I think Bielsa, they would have actually gone down. I know they were lucky to stay up, and they only stayed up on goal difference. Then they are by 1 point. But
yes,
but I can't see them getting out of it. Like you've said, they've sold good players, and like Matt said, they've bought quantity but no quality. There's no caliber there. Their best player is Bamford, but he gets injured all the time. I think where we've got them, I think it's about right.
There we are. Leeds, you're going down, and you can moan and moan and moan and moan at me on Twitter, but yeah, I think you are going to finish rock bottom, and I don't care about it. Do you know what? I'm going to pick one next, and I'm going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons because it's a team that is going to be, well, I don't really know where they're going to finish, but let's go for Brighton.
Mm-hmm.
So they're definitely not going to finish there. They're definitely not going to finish there. And they're definitely not going to finish there. And Newcastle,
I think personally they're going to be in the bottom half. I think they've lost a few quality players, and they look set to lose another one. I wouldn't say they were amongst the worst three.
Yeah.
But they ain't going to be having such a great season as they had previous. If there weren't three other teams in my head, I probably would have edged them right to the bottom half of the bottom half, if not toying with the relegation.
Yeah.
I would say for now, you've probably placed them in the right place. And as we discuss other teams, I think between the three of us, we'll see Brighton possibly slip further down that bottom half.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that at all. I don't think they'll be in any real danger. I think Graham Potter's done a good job there. But I think there is limitations. And, they've had some really, really good results last season, the season before as well. But I think they're not going to, I don't think they'll reach the top half. I think they're probably dead certs for the bottom half. It's just how far down that bottom half, because of course 7 teams have got to go in that bit. And I think they might move further to the right. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if they finish slap bang centre of that bottom half category.
Yeah, maybe.
What do you reckon, Chris? You agree with all that?
Yeah and no. I kind of think Brighton might finish about where they are now. I think they might be 11th, 12th. Personally,
12th.
Yeah, I see where both of you are coming from. I think there's about 4 or 5 teams that could easily swap around with each other throughout the season, and they're one of those teams. In my mind,
this is where it gets interesting. A little bit late, further towards the end, when all the teams are in there, or we're down to the last few, we'll see who edges and moves around in these lists.
I personally think there'll be something like 4 or 5 points probably between like 11th and 15th this season, because there's a lot of teams that are very similar.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, it's your turn, Mr. Rawlings. What are you going to go for?
Let's go for Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest. How they speak, you'd expect them to be there. It'd be funny if they ended up there, but where will they end up?
Well, that you've seen teams spend a lot of money on decent players before and end up relegated.
Yeah,
Fulham.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they did. But for me, I think Steve Cooper's a very good manager. In fairness, you look when he took over last year in the Championship, he turned them from a relegation candidate into a promoted side. Mm-hmm. So he's obviously a good manager. For me, they'd be in the bottom half.
Mm-hmm.
But just because they signed Jesse Lingard doesn't mean Jesse Lingard's going to gel with the squad. No. So I think they'd be bottom half. Personally, Chris, shoot me down.
I think about the same. I think they're probably the 12th, maybe 13th.
Higher or lower than Brighton?
Yeah, currently I reckon. Yeah,
I'm gonna go higher than Brighton.
Higher than Brighton.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, flip them round.
There we are. We've got our first mover. Right. So, what are you going for, Matt?
Let's try and make this a bit more interesting. Let's go Villa.
So our opponents on Saturday. They've been pretty good since they got promoted back to the Premier League. They've done really well. Tyrone Mings is there, of course. Some good quality players. What are you thinking? Because
Go on, Matt.
No,
okay. I personally have them. I have them. I reckon in the bottom half.
In the bottom half.
Yeah, because Gerrard did well at Rangers, but last season they didn't do anything, did they? When he was there, they didn't perform any shocks. Nothing really happened for them. I mean, they'll be top of the bottom half, I reckon. I think they could probably go, in my mind, in front of Forest. But interesting to see what Matt says.
Let's leave them where they are for now. But I'm pretty certain they will be in the top half in with the 3 teams in the top half there. By the time we get through the rest of the teams, they've made some good signings this window. And I think the signings that they've made are they're not good enough, I don't think, to reach Conference League. Top half with maybe a couple of decent cup runs, yeah, I would say. But let's leave them there for now and see how it plays out.
Above Brighton and Forest at the moment, though.
Yeah. I would say so, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the top half, personally. But I think they're one of those teams that it's going to be very close between those two categories. So let's leave them there and see how it goes. Right, my next team, I am going to try and make this interesting. I'm not going to pick an obvious one. I'm going to pick Wolverhampton Wanderers. A team which, under Nuno I can't ever say his name properly. Nuno Espirito Santo was, I probably still said that wrong, was fantastic. Did really, really well. A lot of Portuguese players, but of course they have had that change in manager, and I think it tailed off a little bit. But what do you guys think about them?
For me, I think they're kind of. I mean, when they first come back into the Premier League, they looked like to me that they were a club that was going to really push on and develop into kind of your conference Europa League kind of standard. But for me, I think this season, and after what I saw last season, this coming season, I think they'll end up bottom half.
Yeah, I'm with that as well, definitely.
Because I just think teams are sussing them out now. I mean, have they really made any real standout signing this summer?
No, not really.
They sell all their best players as well all the time.
Yeah, I think. And I mean, to be honest, I had their manager down as my favourite to be sacked first last season.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think he would achieve much, but obviously proved me wrong. But I don't think they're achieving quite what they've set out to want to achieve by now, being back in the top division as long as they have. So I would say probably maybe not that position where they are now, but I would say in that bottom half.
I would put them... See, they're another funny one. They're a little bit like Villa, that they could creep into the top half.
Yeah.
Will they finish above Villa? Will they finish below Villa? I think they'll finish above Forest.
I don't know. I think they'll finish where they are. They're like, and
below Brighton.
I think they'll finish where they are. They've not signed anybody. Do you know what I mean? Their squad is weaker than it was last season. I don't think they're going to offer much this year. Personally.
Are we saying that they could be in danger?
I think they're one of 6 teams that could be in danger, yeah.
Okay,
one of the 6 that could be scrapping.
Yeah, personally, yeah. I think there's 6 teams that are in trouble, and I think they're one of them.
Where are we going next, Chris?
Let's go to Leicester.
Hold on a minute. Have I missed out a pick?
No, it's me now.
Oh, is it?
This is going to be fun when we get a little bit closer, isn't it? So Leicester, of course, they ended up there where nobody expected them to in our first season in the Premier League. Eventually ended up... Well, no, actually, it was bottom half, wasn't it? Yeah. Then they got up to here. So they've... they're a difficult one.
Leicester, I think... Oh, go on, Chris, you go.
In my opinion, I think Leicester. I think they have to be top half because they've not signed anybody. They've lost Schmeichel, and maybe a couple of others. But I think they might do a bit of transfer stuff towards the end of the window. They've got a good manager. They've still got the core of their team if you take away Schmeichel, but they're pretty consistent. They win when they have to. They don't tend to beat the teams you expect them to lose against. You know, they're sort of relatively solid, like Leicester. I'd be surprised if they slipped into the bottom half.
Yeah, same here. I would actually have them a little bit higher, but you know, I'll agree to leave them there for the moment. What do you reckon, Matt?
Let's leave them there for the minute.
Okie doke. I can't see him falling into the bottom half himself, but we shall see. Where you go, Matt?
Crystal Palace.
See, we're not making things easy for ourselves. You know, this is the sort of content you don't get anywhere else, isn't it? So, you know, everybody else would make this really, really easy. Oh, yeah, we'll go for Man City. We'll go for Liverpool. We'll go for Chelsea. We're going for the middle of the round. I
tried.
Oh, yeah, you did try, to be honest. But, yeah, don't worry. We're not sat at the pair of parley. So, Crystal Palace, where are we going?
I'm going to say with the manager they've got, the season they had last year, with what they've built on over pre-season, I'm going to say top half.
Top half?
Yeah.
That's an interesting call.
I think Vieira surprised me, to be honest. When he got the Palace job last pre-season, I thought, oh, God, they're going to struggle this year. But to be fair, he pleasantly surprised me. And I think with what they've brought in, I think he's been quite clever. And I think they will, I wouldn't say they're finished there. I reckon they'll be the 3rd team in the top half. But I think they've got just enough to break in there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're one of those that are going to be borderline, to be honest. What do you reckon, Chris?
Yeah, I'm with what Matt says. Really, I think they will just about make top 10. I think they got a good manager. They've built on what they had. I like I like that top 10.
Okie doke.
Just.
So I guess it's my pick now,
Mm-hmm.
and I am gonna. No, let's still keep throwing the cat amongst the pigeons. Let's go for Natalie Sawyer's Brentford. So, good debut season in the Premier League. The second season syndrome coming for them.
Yeah.
Of course, Christian Eriksen, they've lost. What do you guys think about this?
For me, bottom half, and I reckon they'll be towards the bottom of the 7. I think, yeah, they had a great season last year. In fairness to them, and they come up with some surprises. But a lot of teams on their debut Premier League season do. The club's got a good infrastructure. The manager, I'm not keen on at all.
No, nobody likes him, Frank. To be honest,
I cannot stand that bloke. To be honest,
you wouldn't go for a pint with him.
I couldn't talk football with him. No, he's far more qualified in the game than I am somehow. But I could not sit in the pub and talk football with him. It'd be interesting to see if they started struggling, whether they'd make a decision on the manager to try and keep themselves in the league. But I don't know. I mean, they might prove us completely wrong and they might break into the top half, but I can't see it.
Yeah, I'm very much with Matt there as well. I have Brentford as possibly like in that one of 6 that could go down, to be honest. So where he's got them at the moment, I'd say that.
Fair enough.
Maybe we can do a spin-off show. Managers we wouldn't go to the pub with.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's a really, really good one, actually.
Managers, you know my
one. Yeah, Thomas Frank would be a bit boring, wouldn't he? Although, have you ever thought that he does look a little bit like Ed Tudor-Pole from the Crystal Maze?
Yeah, he does a little bit.
Ed Tudor-Pole, yeah. If he sort of cut his hair into, if someone stuck a bowl on his head and cut his hair, definitely, yeah.
Ed Tudor-Pole.
Believe it or not, Cherry Pickens.
He was actually in a band. But I'll save that for another day. You guys can research that. You know, I won't say any more. Right, Chris, where are we going next?
I'm going to go to Arsenal.
Arsenal. So that is quite an interesting choice.
I personally think Arsenal might be back into the Champions League this season, because I feel the signings they've made have been pretty astute this summer, and I like Arteta. I think what he's doing, he's getting some decent young players in. He's sort of building on what they used to sort of look to do. I feel they're getting a bit of back what they've been missing for like probably a sort of 10-year period, really. First time, Arsenal fans seem excited. I think they might surprise a few people this season.
I don't think they will. I think that they will actually be. Well, I think that they might even finish outside the top 6. Now, do tell me if I'm speaking rubbish again. There's got to be a place for Newcastle in my top 6. And,
so I'll give Harry a call and give him a slap.
Yeah. Yeah, Harry will be telling me I'm talking absolute bollocks. What do you reckon, Matt?
For me, I think Arsenal are one of the teams that have done the best business this transfer window. They've signed obviously Jesus, who I think is the missing jigsaw in terms of their attack. Not just because of what he's done over the pre-season, but I think even when he was at City, he's a quality striker. Yeah. And I think the way Arsenal play is going to suit his game tremendously. So I think with the way things are going at the moment at Chelsea and United, which we discuss them when they come up, I think they will break into the Champions League this year.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, let's leave them there. I'll agree to disagree on that front. It's probably 3 against 1 because Harry probably agrees with you two, but I can take it. I can take it. I'm a big boy. So Matt, where are we going next?
We've got no rules on what teams we're picking, have we?
No, not really.
Let's do it then. AFC Bournemouth.
AFC Bournemouth. There we go. So, it would be a dream to finish there, but let's be realistic with this. This is where, are we talking with our heart or are we talking with our heads here?
My heart, and Chris is going to be the same, I'm sure. We'll say top half of the bottom of the top of the bottom half, kind of where Villa and Forest are.
Yeah.
But if you're talking, that's from the heart. But if you're talking from your footballing brain, it's going to be a difficult one. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but I'm just being realistic, and hopefully I'm proven wrong. But I think we are in with that 6 that are going to be at the bottom battling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I think we will be.
Which is hard to say. But, I mean, there's no good us being over-realistic and say, stick us in between Palace and Leicester. Because, I mean, if we finish there, that's going to be an absolute dream for me. Come next May, once the table was all done and finished and we're there in 17th, I mean, that's going to be enough for me.
Yeah, me too.
There's something to build on.
To be honest, if we finish between where Leicester and Palace are at the moment, that would equal our best ever season.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, I think we're going to be down there. Are we going to be above Brentford? Are we going to be above Wolves? Because we've got them in some sort of order at the moment.
Do you know what? For me, I can't move us at the moment.
Yeah, me neither at the moment, really.
Yeah,
I don't know, actually.
I mean, those teams that we're in around there, your Brighton, your Forest, your Wolves, your Brentford, they are the sides you're going to have to get. Possibly, I mean, if the table turns out to look like this, those are the teams you've got to get your 6 points from.
Yeah.
Whatever's below you. It doesn't always work out that way, but the teams, you're in and around, those are the teams you've got to be taking the points off. But yeah.
Right. Where am I going to go? I am going to throw up. And this is a difficult one. Everton. Now, just to recap what Harry Redknapp said. Now, he said that he was kicking every ball for Everton. Of course, Frank Lampard is his nephew. But he was open and honest enough to admit they're in big trouble. And they are in big trouble. If you look at, I know you can't take much from pre-season friendlies, but you can when you get beat 4-0 by Minnesota, was it?
Yeah.
You can when they had a season as bad as they did last season. You can when they've sold Richarlison.
Not only that, they've got Calvert-Lewin out for the first 6 weeks now.
Yeah. They're one of the 6, I think, as well.
They're in big trouble, personally, for me. However, I think they might just have enough again. And
I think... Carry on, sorry.
They're one of the teams I question and think that we'll finish above.
I think they're lucky this season that they're in the second half of this Premier League table. I think it's probably one of the weaker Premier League years there's been, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a few seasons where there's been a lot better teams in the second half of this table. You know, if Everton were in this league, probably like the season we did go down, I think they'd be in big trouble. You know,
Yeah.
You know, because that season there was better teams in it than there is this year. You know, in my mind. So, but I think Everton will probably do enough to stay up. You know.
What do you reckon, Matt?
Yeah, I'd agree with both what you're saying there. I mean, I would love to see it finish as it's laid out there with them below us. Yeah, they are going to have a tough season. I think this could really be the making of Frank Lampard as a manager.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is, I mean, he's not walking into a side like Chelsea, you know, with superstars in every position. He's got a fair few internationals in the squad, but I just think it could really make him as a manager. If he was to finish any higher than the bottom half, anyone would say he's done a amazing job, I think. Where they come in the bottom half, though, for me, is a little bit debatable.
Yeah.
Are they going to finish below us?
I don't think so.
Are they going to finish below Brentford? That one, I would probably say
I would switch them around. I'd put them ahead of Brentford.
Yeah, I think you're right, Chris. Yeah, totally. I think they'd
be put them ahead of us.
Yeah, that way round.
I don't think they'll finish as high as that.
But I don't know.
I'll tell you what. Let's leave them there where they are for now.
Yeah,
and then we'll come back and let's argue it out.
There you are. That's Matt, the voice of reason here up the Cherries and All Departments. So, right, who are we going for next, Chris?
Okay, let's go for Southampton.
Ooh.
Southampton. Oh, well,
they can dream they'll be up there, but realistically, they're going to be.
Yeah, they will never get up there because they'll get beat 9-0 by Leicester at one, every season.
Yeah. This year it'll be by Bournemouth.
I can only hope.
I think Southampton are going to be in the bottom half as well. I think they don't sign any quality. They're a selling club as well. I don't think they're going to finish below us, but I would love them to. But I don't think they will. I think they might be between Wolves and Everton in my mind.
Do you think so?
Yeah. What does Matt?
They are one of my 3 to go down.
Are they? Oh, fair enough.
They are mine as well.
I think.
Okay, put them into the relegation zone, then, boys. I don't mind that. They're in my 6, so put them in the bottom. Put them down there. Yeah.
Should we stick them bottom at the moment?
Yeah.
I think they've lost some quality, haven't they?
Yeah.
And Ward-Prowse keeps getting linked to places. So could you see him moving before the end of the transfer window?
I hope so, but probably not.
If that's the case, I think that would put him right in it. I think Che Adams will end up getting sussed out as a striker.
He's going to Leeds, apparently, isn't he?
And he's on the move as well, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that, I'm not just saying it because they're down the road. To be quite honest with you, I'd love to see Bournemouth, Brighton, Saints and Pompey all in the Premier League. I think it'd be fantastic for South Coast. And anyone that says, different, wants Saints to go down and all that, because they're a Bournemouth fan. I mean, for me personally, I think it's only good for the South Coast if all of us were in the top division. But just for me, there's something about their gaffer that I think he's diced with it the whole time he's kind of been there. He had some real heavy defeats, but he's always seemed to manage to pull something out of the bag. And I just think the time's running out for him now. I think with, I think they lose Ward-Prowse. I know one man don't make a team, but I think that would seriously dent their midfield.
What if he gets injured?
Or if he gets injured, if he's out for 6 months, yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? So, yeah, for me, they're one of the ones to go.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Where are we going, Matt?
Right, let's Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is interesting because they, of course, finished second last season by a slender amount. They've lost Mane for a second time. Yeah, if they win it again, you won't hear the end of it. But what do you reckon? Can they go all the way?
Go on then, Chris.
Oh, I don't know. It's too hard to call between them and City, I think. I know they beat City in the Community Shield, but no one really cares about the Community Shield, do they? It's like a glorified friendly.
For me, they're outright winners. And I'll tell you why. I think that, yes, they have lost Mane, but I think with the players they've brought in, I think the Mane deal was very good, to be fair. I thought when they sold Mane, I mean, he's at the right age. They got good money for him, and they brought in that Nunes, haven't they?
Yeah.
Is that his name, Nunes? And I've seen him play a couple of friendlies, and one friendly looked awful. And I thought, oh God, you know, is he going to? And social media were liking him to Andy Carroll.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did see the second half of the Charity Shield last week, and I know it's only the Charity Shield, and you know nobody cares about it, blah blah blah. But and from what I've seen in pre-season, they I would say their attacking three looks even better. Defensively, they're normally pretty good. They got a good goalkeeper. They got a good backbone throughout the squad. Their midfield's strong. And you can say all of this about City as well, but there's just something this season that's just making me think it's going to be Liverpool's year.
Yeah.
Now, could be completely wrong. Haaland at City, if he starts firing on all cylinders, that will be the main difference.
I don't think he will, to be honest. I don't think he'll like the defenders in England.
For me, I think personally he's going to find it hard. And like I've said for quite a while, I think I might have said to you two before, he's going to go one way or the other for me. He's either going to be an absolute sensation, or he's going to be a flop.
Yeah, I think Liverpool could win it this year. I honestly do. What do you reckon, Chris?
Yeah. I'm with that as well.
Right. So, I'm trying to think. Is it my go now?
Yeah.
Is it? Right. Shall I keep putting the cat amongst the pigeons, or shall I go for something? I'll tell you what.
Running out of cats.
West Ham United.
Conference League.
Yeah, we've got Newcastle there.
But instead of Newcastle?
I would say so.
I think it's tough. It's between them two, I think.
I would say West Ham edge it for me.
And
they've signed a fantastic striker.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think if he takes off, I think West Ham are now that steady club, not quite enough to break into the Europa League and Champions League, even though they nearly did it.
Yeah.
Because I think they're in the Conference League this year, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that they're more like the new Leicester, aren't they now? The sort of solid
I would totally agree with that comment. Totally agree. And I think David Moyes knows that squad like the back of his hand. He's done a fantastic job there. And I think they're kind of now settled, sort of. I mean, they're either going to be top half or they're going to be Conference League.
No, Newcastle aren't going to finish there, Craig.
Someone's having a laugh there. Is this computer got a virus or something?
No, I was trying to put some impetus around my prediction with Harry, but
I don't think you're going to get there.
Craig,
No.
you never know. You might be right, and we might be looking back on this video in a year's time going, Craig was right.
When
Told
the
you so.
Invincibles, the second round are out.
Yeah.
Sorry, Newcastle and Eddie Howe.
If you're going to go
Well,
back to the Newcastle thing quickly, right?
Well,
I mean, they haven't made really any real signing, big signing. They've signed Botman, who's a fantastic defender.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you've ever seen him play in the French league, but I mean, I've watched a few games on BT, and he is absolutely fantastic.
He's about 7'5", and he's giant, isn't he?
Tall bloke, and he's going to be a fantastic addition. They've brought Nick Pope in. Okay, good goalkeeper. For me, for Newcastle to break into these European places, they need to have signed one of the strikers they've been linked with.
Yeah, they need a proper striker, someone they can rely on that's not going to be injured most of the season.
Well, I'm not just saying that. Obviously, we all know if the Saudis are serious about getting this club into positions where they want to get the club, they've got to buy big names. And I think they've got a manager in Eddie who knows the league. They've got a crop of players now with a few additions that should really be performing better than what they were performing. So I think top half really for Newcastle is really the best they can do with the current result they've got.
Yeah,
I get that as well.
I don't know. I think Eddie just gets the most out of players. You know, when
and
I
you're
was
right, he does. He does. He absolutely does. But has he got the crop of players to get even more out of them enough to break into Europe?
No, most of them are most of that squad are like average players that would, aren't they? To be honest.
Yeah, but look at what he's done with Joe Linton. Joe Linton was shit.
Yeah, but Joe Linton's still shit. He only scored like 3 goals after Eddie Howe came in.
No, Chris,
Here
come on,
go.
listen. Right, you've got Joe Linton, right, who is a Brazilian striker, and Eddie Howe's transformed in. Now going back to his days when he's at Bournemouth, and he's seen managers do this before. Transition the player. He's seen something in the player, an attribute within the player where he's gone. He's a box-to-box midfielder.
Well, granted.
He's moved him into the midfield, and it doesn't matter about what goals he scores now.
Granted. Okay.
He is a complete engine in that midfield.
Point taken. But going back to what you've said, I can't see that average. 60% average players and 40% of decent players are going to go any higher than 9th. You look at the other squads in the Premier League of the top teams. You know, Newcastle might beat a couple of those top teams, but they're not going to be consistent enough to finish top 4 or top 6.
Totally agree with you.
Right.
There we are. We'll leave him there, and I won't sneak him up.
No more
Let's
heat.
move on to that.
Calm down. Chill your melon.
Chill your melon. Right, where are we going then?
Right, I'm going to Man United now.
Ooh.
Man United. So, a club that's never really replaced a Sir Alex Ferguson, have they?
Yeah, I personally would swap them with West Ham.
Oh, that's brave.
The new manager, he's very good. He's been good at Ajax, but Ajax and Man United are 2 completely different teams. The people he's signing, and the problems with Ronaldo not wanting to play, I don't think United are going to have a good season at all. They were bang average last season. That United are in a position like a couple of year period where they are really mediocre. Everybody can beat United at the moment.
I know that they're talking in a different league to what we are. In terms of, and I know Man United fans aren't happy with where they end up. But, if you compare them against the Liverpool squad, the Man City squad, the Chelsea squad, even the Arsenal squad and the Spurs squad, I would put them bottom of that list. And I think somebody else could easily overtake them. And to be honest, I'm with you on that. I think, to be honest, I think Newcastle would finish above them, but we're not putting them there. So
I think there's more. there's more cohesion in the West Ham team than there is in Man United. Man United are, when Ronaldo plays, he's an amazing player. Don't get me wrong, I love Ronaldo, but they are very much a one directional team where he wants the ball, he doesn't pass, they give him the ball. If he doesn't do it, no one does. Do you know what I mean? They've got no backup plan. You know, they've made it clear they won't sell him. He doesn't want to be there, so he's not exactly going to be firing on all cylinders. You know, I think they're going to really struggle. I think any team this season, including us and Leeds and Southampton, could beat United.
Not Leeds.
They're not feared like they used to be. You don't think, oh no, you're going to go play at Old Trafford now. Do you know what I mean? Because you take away like the odd individual, but they don't play as a team anymore.
They don't. No, completely agree. Pogba was an absolute waste of space, wasn't he? Let's be fair.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah. I don't think. You know, I would put them bottom of the bottom team of the top 6 or the elite 6 or whatever you want to call them, and I think somebody else could overtake them.
Yeah.
And you know, we'll agree with West Ham. We'll agree that it's West Ham. So you think West Ham might move into the Europa League? What do you reckon, Matt?
I mean, if you look at United, I mean, yeah, I've seen a couple of their pre-season friendlies highlights that they've shown on Sky and that, and I think this tag that's come in, he's got a project there, and especially with what's happened in their last friendly where some of the players left early and stuff like that, you can still see there's changing room issues, and he's not going to iron that out overnight. So for me, I think Conference League is a no. I think personally they'd be 6th. This tag's a good manager, and he's not going to be Mickey Mousing. If you're not playing ball with him, he's the kind of manager that just won't play you, whether you're Ronaldo, whether you're Fred, or whether you're Tom Huddleston, who's just signed for him, isn't he, as a player coach?
Yeah.
You know, I think he's there for the long term. I mean, you're right what you say there, Craig. You know, since Sir Alex, they've not been the same side, but in the time that Sir Alex has left United, the league has become a lot stronger in terms of that elite 6.
Yeah.
And now I think what United need to do is let this manager, you know, he might need 3 years to build his team, get his team playing the way that he wants them to play, and develop it, you know, like Klopp did. You know, Klopp took Liverpool on, he took it on from Brendan Rodgers, didn't he? And he, over the years, each transfer window, he was adding the right piece of the jigsaw, and he built them into champions. That's the kind of job Tag's got to do at United, if you ask me. He's got to work with what he's got now. He's brought a few faces in. You know, next transfer window, he might bring a few more faces in. He's obviously got the Ronaldo situation to sort out, which I think it's in his best interest that he keeps Ronaldo. Anyone would think, you know, no matter what age Ronaldo is, he's the fittest man on the planet, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, but for me, I think Conference League is a little bit too low. I would say United will finish 6th. Probably might have a good run in the cups this year. I mean, they're in the Europa League anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
And who says that they don't win the Europa League? You know, for me, they'd be one of the favourites for the Europa League. And you never know, they might concentrate on an FA Cup or to get some silverware in there just to start his reign off. And while he develops a team to be title contenders again.
Fair enough. Shall we leave him there, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree that they could finish a bit lower. Whose choice is it next?
Matt's.
Is it
Spurs?
Right. Well, they're not going to finish there, but personally, I think they're going to be very, very close to the top.
What do you think, Chris?
I personally think I think they'll come. I think they'll come fourth.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Well,
Well, actually,
yeah,
no, I would swap Arsenal and Tottenham around personally, but those two positions for those two clubs, I agree whichever way round you put them.
Yeah, I'm the same. If either of those two can finish third or fourth.
Yeah, for me, those two have done the best transfers of the window for the top six, I think.
Yeah.
And you got Conte, which just gives him that little edge over Arsenal. Arteta, I think, is going to be a fantastic manager. I like Arteta. But I think with the experience of Conte, he is a winner. I don't think they'd be strong enough to win the league. But with what he's added to the squad, with Kane on form, a Song on form, they would definitely get a Champions League place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't disagree, and I think they'll be closer to the top two. You know, that is closer than anybody has been for a while. Spurs. So I think leave them there. I think they'll finish third.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree.
Right. So my pick. To be honest, there's only 3 teams. Shall we go for one of the teams that we was promoted with, and Fulham? Now Fulham got Mitrovic up front. Has he ever done it in the Premier League? No.
No.
Has
Bottom
anybody
of the
ever
league.
played to his system?
No. Bottom of the league.
No. You think bottom?
Yeah, I do. But Southampton won't finish bottom. They might go down, but they won't finish bottom.
I think Leeds will finish bottom, though, Chris.
I think it'll be Fulham bottom, Leeds second bottom, and Southampton will be the last ones to go down. But
What do you
Fulham will go
reckon,
down.
I think Fulham will go down.
I would say something similar to what you're saying, Craig. I think I agree with Chris. Yeah, Saints will probably be the top relegated side. And it would be a toss between the two for the bottom place. I think, if we're going on history, then I think Fulham will probably just pip that last place.
So we think Leeds are going down as bottom.
Well, I think Fulham.
No, I would say Fulham, because if you look at it from a historical point, Mitrovic hasn't done it on the in the Premier League. He's scored goals, but he's not been what you'd call prolific. But he has just come off the back of a 40-goal season. So now with strikers, goals create confidence, and that's what we're hoping with Solanke. We're hoping that obviously Solanke continues to grow and develop on the back of a very good season, and goals breed confidence. So is it a chance that Mitrovic may find his scoring boots in the division now? In which case, if he does, they might not necessarily be a bottom 3 contender.
No.
They'd probably be where we've got the likes of Everton, Brentford, and ourselves at the moment. Yeah, I would say at the moment, I would say that's the bottom 3.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just different places, as you guys will all see in a moment. So we've got 2 teams left. Of course, I don't get to pick one now, but who are we going to next, Chris?
Chelsea. Yeah, they got to slot in next to Man United.
Definitely.
Higher or lower than Man United?
Higher than United.
I would agree with that. Yeah, completely agree with that.
It's a tough one because they're both going through transition period, but I think
they've signed an excellent defender in Koulibaly.
Yeah, that's true.
He's an excellent defender, but I think the thing is with Chelsea is they lack that striker, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
They're world class across the rest of the pitch, and they won't fall any lower than Europa League. But
no.
I know they got that Havertz, is it?
Kai Havertz.
Yeah. He can play as a number 9, But other than that, unless they sign a Bang Yang,
Aubameyang,
they are now apparently in talks with Chelsea. Chelsea with Barca about him. So for them to get any higher than Europa League, to be in the Champions League, I think they've got to sort their striker situation out.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I'd leave it like that for them.
And last but not least, this is an easy one, really, isn't it, Matt? But Manchester City.
Yeah, Manchester City. I reckon Manchester City are going to finish 19th on about 27 points.
Yeah.
Runners up for me. I'd love to say Tottenham, but I think, just with the quality around the pitch, it's a no-brainer. It's either Liverpool or City who are going to win the league.
Yeah.
That is not a difficult one. For me, I just think Liverpool will pip them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it might be the year that City lift the Champions League, which I think is the one that they really, really, really want now, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
So I reckon if they don't win the Premier League, I reckon this could be their year to lift the Champions League. In which case, finishing second with the Champions League, I'm sure most, 90% of City fans would be chuffed to bits.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing else you can say about City and Liverpool than what hasn't already been said. I know they've lost Sterling, but then again, you've got a Grealish that can step into that role, and Grealish needs to develop as a player there. So with Sterling coming out of the way, that will help Grealish get more game time, I'm hoping. From a point of view as well. And then obviously, they've got at the back, you got Ake, you got your Carl Walkers, good steady players, all international players. De Bruyne can just run a game. De Bruyne. So they're just quality around the pitch. It's going to be a tight one again. I can't say us say Liverpool are going to go and win the league by 10 points or something ridiculous like that. There'll be a couple of points in it.
Yeah.
And it will probably be whoever gets the better over either, when they play each other. Depends who gets the better over the other one will probably be the eventual winner. But for me, I just think with what they've added, Liverpool, I think that Núñez is going to be a quality player, and I think to be honest, I thought the front three, from what I've seen, they look sharper than they did with Mane. But probably 100,000 people would disagree with me. But I just think they're pipping.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is right. I think.
Well, that's at the moment our table. We have got everybody in the right amount of teams in the right positions. So well done, guys. But what we're going to do is just very quickly play higher or lower. So, of course, we got Liverpool. We got Man City. Would you all agree second for Man City?
Yeah.
Tottenham or Arsenal? Higher or lower?
Keep it as it is, I think.
Yeah, I would say Tottenham.
And then Arsenal.
Yeah, Tottenham will, be third.
Yeah, Arsenal still fourth?
Yeah.
Okay. Chelsea or Man United finishing higher?
I would say... You see, that's going to be... I think that's a funny one, because...
I think I know what I'm going to go for. I'd say Chelsea.
I think... Do you know... Yeah. I would probably say United, but let's... for argument's sake, let's go with how we got it.
Well, let's do a vote. Chris,
Chelsea.
what do you say? I say Chelsea. Sorry, Matt.
That's fine.
There we are. West Ham Conference League. Do we both agree? All agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. Newcastle Champions League. No, don't worry. I'm not going to do that. Newcastle, higher or lower than Leicester?
I'm going to say higher.
Yeah, higher.
Higher, yeah. Leicester or
so
Crystal
you don't
Palace?
cry, Craig.
Yeah.
I think Leicester, even though, I know Chris touched on it earlier, that, not too much has changed there and they got a good manager and all that, but I wouldn't surprise me if Palace finished higher than them, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me if Villa finished higher than them, to be fair.
Yeah, we could swap Palace and Leicester around.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, they lost Casper, who's a massive character at the club. I know they've got Vardy still, but and there's talk of talisman going, isn't there? Apparently PSG are putting a bid in for him, and Arsenal still sniffing around. And I think if they lose him, I mean, he's a great player, big game player. Yeah. And if they lose him and he goes to somewhere like Arsenal, I think Leicester will start to feel the pinch a little bit. And that's where maybe the Villa position and the Leicester position would then flip. But I think at the moment, I think how it is there is about right.
I agree.
What do you reckon, Chris? Palace or Leicester?
Yeah. The way we've got it now, Palace ahead of Leicester. Yeah, so keep it like that.
I would have gone for Leicester above Palace, but I've been voted out this time. So, it's not the first time today, is it? Never mind. So, Villa or Forest?
Villa.
Forest or Brighton?
Forest.
I think Brighton, but I'm happy to stick with Forest.
Come on, Chris, you got to put you.
I think Brighton will finish. I think Brighton.
Yeah, go on, switch around. Right, go on, then switch around. Brighton.
I think, Brighton finish above Forest. Forest or Wolves?
I think Forest.
Yeah, I would say, looking at it, and I hate to say it, but I think the way that's lined up is about right.
Yeah,
I think Wolves would finish above Forest, but yeah. Not all my decision. Wolves or Everton?
Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves. Yeah.
Wolves. Everton or Brentford?
I still think. I think Everton just. I think Everton, Bournemouth, and Brentford's going to be like 1 point between the three, but I think Everton experience will probably show at the end.
I'd have us above Everton, but
no.
Got it, Craig, quickly tweak it how you do it.
That's how I do it.
Yeah.
I think we're being too optimistic with us being. I think if we stay up, I think we'll be the team to just stay up. I don't think we'll finish 2 places above.
Do you know what? Maybe we're being too negative, Chris. But I mean,
I think, have it how you want. I don't.
No. What I mean is I agree with you. I would put it back to how we had it.
Would you?
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to agree, but I mean, and I'm so hoping we're proved wrong. But we had our moments when we first, the first season in the Premier League, we had our moments and we only kind of dabbled with the bottom 3, but we were always kind of in these positions here, sort of 15th, 16th, 17th, kind of places, peaked at 14th, I think, or maybe 13th at one point. But we kind of, dabbled in all those kind of positions there in our first season. But I just think this year we will just be, we'll have enough just to stay up.
Yeah.
Who do you think will finish above? Do you think Everton will finish above Brentford or Brentford above Everton?
That's a tough one. You two can decide that, because I think it'll be so close to cool.
I would say...
You've got to have a vote, Chris.
I think how we had it, I think Everton will just finish above us and Brentford.
Yeah, no, I agree with Chris. I think and Chris is probably spot on. There's probably just going to be a point or a couple of points in it. And I would agree with Chris that I would say they're not strong enough to finish above Wolves or Forest. And they probably just got the edge on us too, on us and Brentford. But yeah, I would say that's how. Yeah, it may finish.
I keep getting outvoted, but it's not just all my decision on this. Of course, you'll see my prediction in a bit, but the bottom
Newcastle
3
winning the league.
Newcastle winning the league. Well done, Eddie. England manager.
Cool.
Here we go. World
Cool.
Cup 2026. Eddie Howe's won it for us. Up there with Sir Alf Ramsey. So, right. Off the fancy stuff. What do you think of those three? I know the order I've got in my head, but
yeah, I think Southampton, if they're going to go down, they'll go down as the top of the relegation zone. On the last day of the season.
cool. That'd be tough for them, seeing as we'd send them down.
Yeah, well, Southampton, every time they've stayed up, it's always been last day of the season. I think if they go down, they'll go down on last day of the season.
And then Leeds, you guys think Leeds 19th? I think 20th, but
Yeah, I think 19th. I think. I mean, Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I think history shows Fulham are always notoriously awful in the Premier League, aren't they? The last few times, always come bottom, don't score any goals, lose every game.
In danger of having the Norwich yo-yo, isn't they? For them.
Yeah, they are the Norwich. They'll go. Norwich will come up this season. They'll go down next season. Norwich will go down. Fulham will come back up.
Should we say that is our predictions?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So, guys, if you're looking from left to right, so Man City second, Spurs third, Arsenal fourth. That is the way that we predict it's gonna happen. So, crikey, we've been on for a long time. It's like going to the Camel Bar and not realising what time you come out, isn't it?
Yeah,
I know.
So what we'll do is we'll just breeze through these last little bits. So what we are going to do is we are going to do a score predictor, but should we have a look at our individual tables that we put out before this this tier list? So there is Chris's lineup. Brentford in the bottom three. You got us in the same place. It's quite interesting to have a look at how it's changed and what the combined.
Mine's quite similar to what we had it as. I've just got the top two round the other way, and Arsenal and Tottenham round the other way, and then Newcastle, West Ham round the other way. Very similar though. Everyone's either round one place, round the other way, basically. The only one that's different, really, for me is Southampton and Brentford. They're 2 places out.
Should we have a look at yours, Matt? And there we are. In fact, the bottom three are, as they are, bottom four, bottom five even.
Bottom five, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's quite. I can't see much different. Newcastle a little bit lower.
There's only a couple different there.
Well, no, Newcastle's only a place lower, isn't he?
He's obsessed with Newcastle tonight. God.
Yeah, Serenity.
Anyone thought this is up the Newcastle in all departments?
Yeah, up the tune next week, starring Craig.
Right, shall we do a drum roll? Actually, guys, have a guess.
Newcastle winning Champions League position.
Newcastle was 6th. Oh, look at that!
Oh, God.
So,
what are you doing? Arsenal in 7th, Man United in 8th. God, you're living in dream world, mate.
Harry did tempt me to, move Newcastle down from 3rd.
Yeah.
He tempted you from that dizzy height. I would have gone down a few places as well. Arsenal 7th.
Man United 8th.
I don't think Man United will find it easy.
No, they won't.
Come on, but Leicester above Arsenal and Man United.
I think, they might get it right, but...
Well, I know one person that won't be, and that's you.
The bottom threes, though, is the same as Matt's. Just Leeds slap bang bottom going down. Sorry, everybody at Elland Road, but that's what's happening.
Yeah, Nice.
Oh, there we are. The Gremlins got in there again just a second ago, but you didn't see that, right? By the way, guys, if you did miss it, watch the Simon Day interview. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing that. So yeah, you didn't see that, right? No laughter. No laughter at all. It's because we did that for too long, wasn't it? Right. So the last thing of this morning. So we are doing a cherry picking podcast score predictor league game, and what we're going to do is we're going to update it, the standings every week, so you can enter on Twitter, you can enter on anywhere that this is posted, and let us know what you think. So how it is going to work, there's going to be 3 Premier League games, 1 Championship game, 1 League One, 1 League Two, and 1 that is completely and utterly random. Chris has done this week, and Chris will be picking them moving forwards. But don't be surprised that we don't go with the German league, but we go with the Macedonian First Division. Right. So what we are going to do is we're going to put in our predictions. So no cheating, no copying. Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So I reckon, because obviously this is tomorrow night, so first Premier League game of the season. I think it'll be a close game. I think Arsenal probably shade it 2-1, I reckon.
Matt?
3-1 Arsenal.
1-1. I'm going to go for.
Fair enough.
Right. AFC Bournemouth versus Aston Villa. So our first game back in the Premier League. Of course, last time it was against Aston Villa, but got beat 1-0. What do you guys think?
I've gone for a 1-1 draw in this game.
Okay. Well, I've gone for. I got you, and I'm thinking with my heart now. 2-1 Bournemouth.
I'm going to go for 1-0, but in our favour this time round. So,
fair enough.
Right, we're rattling through these now. Leicester versus Brentford.
I also went for 1-1 draw in this game because I think Leicester obviously haven't made any signings, and Brentford, well, I think we're going to struggle, but I think both teams could score in this match. So yeah, I went for 1-1 draw again.
Matt?
2-0 Leicester.
And I'm going to go for 2-1, I think, Leicester. So we're going into the Championship with Burnley versus Luton. That's an interesting one that you picked there, Chris.
Yeah, I just thought, Burnley got a new manager. Luton obviously had a good season last year, so I thought it'd be an interesting match, So I've gone for 1-0 to Burnley in this game.
I'm going to go because I've been very impressed, to be fair, with what Company's done so far in terms of the signings as well. He's made another signing today, I think, or yesterday. So I'm going to go 3-0 Burnley.
And I am going to... No, actually, I'm going to be different. I'm going to go 1-0 Luton.
Oh, that's interesting.
So MK Dons versus Sheffield Wednesday, 2 teams that were in the playoffs last season. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I've gone for 2-1 Sheffield Wednesday in this game because I think Sheffield Wednesday really need to get out of this league. A big team, MK Dons always flirt with getting out, but never really deliver when push comes to shove. So I reckon Sheffield Wednesday 2-1.
I think there'll be goals in this one. So I'm going to actually go for a 2-2 draw.
Ooh.
And I'm going to go because I don't know. MK Dons, it's such a big stadium for so little fans. I reckon 3-1 Sheffield Wednesday. And then League 2, we have got Doncaster Rovers versus Sutton United.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be a fair few goals in this game. So I went for Doncaster to win 3-2. I just think, they've fallen quite a long way, haven't they, from the Championship? I think they're not going to want to hang around in that league. So I think they're probably going to go out, go all out attack, probably leave gaps at the back. I think big goals everywhere.
Yeah, I agree with Chris on that one in terms of what he's saying about Doncaster wanting to really get back up out of that league. But I would say it's going to be 2-1 Doncaster.
And actually, I was impressed by Sutton United in their debut season in the Football League. So why not? I'm going to go for a 3-1 Sutton win.
Oh,
interesting, yeah.
Go and put a tenner on that at the bookies.
Yeah. I'll take a bet.
Harry will probably... to be honest, I'm not very good at this, am I? You can see why I don't...
You don't know, it might come in yet, mate.
You never know.
Harry's probably sat at home thinking, what the bloody hell is he on about now?
Yeah.
The thing is, League Two's a funny league sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the final one, the random one.
Yeah, the German second division.
Hanover are in the second division now, are they?
Yeah, Paderborn versus Hanover. Yeah, German Bundesliga 2.
I thought who were Paderborn?
Second division in Germany. So
go on, Chris.
I've gone for Hanover 2-1 league. Hanover, I believe, were in this league last season. I think they were near the top, and then I think they may have lost in their version of the playoffs. I might be completely wrong, but I believe that's what happened. So I think they're not going to want to hang around again. I think they're going to want to get it done this season. So I'm going to go for them to win 2-1.
Go on, Matt.
Hanover 3-0.
To be honest, I can't go for Paderborn. They are at home, to be fair, but I've never heard of them. Sorry, our German fans. Maybe I know AFCB Germany comments on this show quite a bit, so please do tell us a little bit about Paderborn if you're watching. But I'm going to go Hanover, and I'm going to go for a 3-0 win.
Fair enough. If I can just do a little bit on how this is going to work. So if we get the score correct and the result correct, that's 3 points to us. Yeah. If we don't get the score correct, but we get the team to win correct or the result correct, that'll be 1 point. Okay. So next week, obviously, Matt can pick the 7 matches, and then and then the week after you pick them, and then we just mix it up.
Okay, that sounds all right. You passed the baton over of the responsibility for the games, but
we mix it up each week, so we have a bit, so we don't know what's coming.
I reckon.
Exactly.
I reckon maybe after myself and Craig had done it, maybe we should put it out there for some of the viewers to maybe pick the 7 teams for us to.
Yeah,
why
definitely.
not? Why not?
Yeah. Even more.
Please do get involved
definitely.
in that as well. And we will announce the latest standings on next week's Up the Cherries in All Departments Cherry Picking podcast. But hopefully you enjoyed this show because it was a long one. Lots of debating. All excited for the start of the season, lads?
Yeah.
Also next week, we will be doing shout-outs for whoever's done well in the Fantasy Football League in the first week.
Yes, we will be.
Yeah.
So do sign up. And you've probably seen it on the bottom of the screen, the whole entire show. Please do remember to sign up to it because it is going to be great. You could win the Shite Cup. You could also win another Shite Cup as well for doing the predictions each week as well. So keep on it, and we shall be announcing a winner in May. But until the next one, thank you again, Chris, and thank you, Matt. We'll see you in the next Cherry Picking podcast.